the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her.
She refused to keep her fat mouth shut. It really does seem to me that this is like a 19-year-old's version of feminism. Their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable.
In a surprising turn, Rachel Zegler has apologized for her comments about the 1937 animated classic and the original Brothers Grimm story after facing a lot of backlash.
You had Rachel Zegler on the docket, too. I think actresses should be quiet. I understand
She's
why.
such
It looks like she apologized because of all the backlash from people who felt she was disrespecting the original Snow White. It's unclear if her apology will calm things down or just be a small part of a project already full of problems, but it shows how intense the situation has gotten.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
Disney CEO Bob Iger, along with top executives and board members, seem to have been overseeing a troubled production. Because of all the issues, many people think Disney might have been better off canceling the live-action remake early and shelving it, similar to how some studios handle movies they see as too risky to complete or release.
They've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, "Yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her."
Set troubles have been building for some time. Insiders say the project went through 3 separate rounds of reshoots to fix pacing issues, rearrange important scenes, and reshape the overall story. Greta Gerwig, who helped write the script, reportedly faced constant challenges trying to meet the studio's demands. Even though the changes were meant to improve the film, each big fix seemed to bring new problems.
And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, "Good job, Rachel." And then she, like minutes later, followed it up with, "And never forget, free Palestine." This is just like a few months after 10/7.
Meanwhile, tensions between the two main stars, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, have also caught people's attention. Reports say Zegler's public comments about the 1937 animated film and the original Brothers Grimm story led to major backlash. This sparked a new controversy over whether she truly respects the classic themes that have made Snow White beloved for generations.
She's now bragging about the success of Snow White, which is a movie that's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her, and because nobody wanted to support her.
As the negative press grew, frustration reportedly started building within the production team, especially when it became clear that, to many fans, the new version was drifting too far from the beloved fairy tale. In response to the backlash, Zegler's apology appeared, seemingly as an attempt to show the public that she does, in fact, respect and admire the original animated film.
Yeah, we had more dwarfs than we did viewers in most of these theaters. And as you know, there were no dwarfs other than some CGI weird generated version of them. It's the old, it truly is go woke, go broke.
Even though her earlier comments suggested otherwise, some industry watchers believe Zegler's apology might be an effort to fix not just her public image, but also boost the morale of a cast and crew worn out by constant controversy. Still, her apology may have come too late to ease the tension. According to multiple sources, Zegler and Gal Gadot reportedly clashed more than once over the creative direction of their characters.
Don't alienate half of the country when you're putting out a product meant to appeal to all. It's the Michael Jordan Republicans buy sneakers too.
The third act of the film was especially difficult to shoot, featuring a key scene set in the villain's fortress where Snow White, the villagers, and the 7 companions face off against the evil queen. Rumors spread that during filming, Zegler and Gadot had such a heated argument that it became nearly impossible to complete multiple takes without constant interruptions. Crew members say it took around 25 tries just to get this crucial scene right.
For every one of the 18 hours I am in the Snow White dress, I expect to get paid. If it's 18 hours, I want 18 hours of pay. I'm sure she got underpaid as a Disney lead actress, or as a...
The scene included a dramatic monologue from the evil queen to Snow White, ending in a clash over their views on society's future. As they filmed take after take, tensions on set reportedly got worse, with both actresses holding strong opinions on how their lines should be delivered and how the scene's mood should develop. A key point of conflict was Gal Gadot's choice to improvise parts of her dialogue, adding a darker twist to her character. While this creative choice was appreciated by the director and writer, it added to the friction between the leads.
People have real problems and no one gives a if she got paid for 17 instead of 18 on her multi-million-dollar salary, which is not calculated by the hour.
Rachel Zegler reportedly became uneasy, feeling that Gal Gadot's improvisation took away from the focus on Snow White during a key moment, undermining the importance of the heroine's journey. Some crew members claimed the entire production team was stuck in the middle, unsure how to balance the different visions for this pivotal part of the story. Even Zegler's apology for her earlier comments about the original film hasn't been enough to ease the tension on set.
So she just encapsulates everything that most of us cannot stand about modern day feminism and the left in general. This weird feminist thing where her heroine cannot be in love or be saved by a man, the prince, that she's more focused on becoming the leader she was meant to be, as if women in modern day America must make that choice. You cannot both be a leader as a female.
The apology, which addressed her supposed dismissal of the 1937 film, may have come too late to repair the damage that had already been done between key players. The tension on set grew so uncomfortable that many felt the rift between the two. Main stars had become unmanageable. Allegedly, Zegler became upset with Gadot for not sticking to the exact script and for adding suggestions that leaned too much into the villain's perspective, further straining their relationship.
You cannot both be a leader as a female and fall in love and be rescued by a prince. Like, that's incongruous bullshit. That's only the left's version of what it means to be a strong woman or female empowerment. So, I mean, this woman has clicked every box. And just for cherry on top at the end, she gave an interview last week talking about how they were basically a bunch of white supremacists on the set of West Side Story.
An irreparable split developed, and the atmosphere on set quickly soured. The cast and crew reportedly kept their distance, just focusing on their work with minimal interaction. Zegler's apology was mentioned quietly behind the scenes, with some feeling that it wasn't enough to fix a production that was becoming more and more plagued by personality clashes.
Where Steven Spielberg and co. were demanding that she prove how Latina she really is, since her name doesn't sound Latina, and she was angrily saying, did I have to bring in my little abuelita for you to believe that I was Latina?
Those who thought that a simple acknowledgement of the story's legacy would calm upset fans soon realized that bridging the gap between the two co-stars, who disagreed on so many creative aspects, would take more than just an apology. To make matters worse, the creative leads decided to cut the entire fortress sequence from the final version of the film. The multiple rounds of reshoots over the years had caused continuity problems with other parts of the movie, making the sequence too complicated to keep.
That's her thanks to Steven Spielberg, who discovered her and made her. So she's an ingrate, she's annoying, and I think she's probably two and done.
Observers said the scene was initially filmed, then reshot later. But both versions faced so many issues that keeping it in the final film became impractical. Problems like continuity errors, tonal inconsistencies, and incompatible footage made it impossible to include seamlessly. Despite the time and money spent on it, Zegler is rumored to have been very frustrated by the decision to cut the scene, as she believed it showcased her best performance.
And if she hadn't have opened her mouth, I think that this movie might have done well. They might have just been able to ride on the hopium of the movie and some well-cut trailers, and people would have paid to go see it. And then it would have fallen off when people knew it was garbage.
The deleted scene was meant to highlight a central moral conflict and likely offered Zegler an opportunity to portray Snow White in a way that aligned with her apology, showing she values the character's classic virtues as much as fans do. However, despite her hopes, the scene won't make it into the final film, and some believe the momentum she hoped to gain from her apology may now be lost. To make matters worse, the movie's release was delayed by an entire year, from 2024 to 2025. Industry insiders say this was due to extensive reworking of the climactic act, requiring the cast and crew to regroup and rework major parts of the story. Disney executives, facing increasing scrutiny, hoped this delay would allow them to refine the product and reduce the negative buzz surrounding the production chaos. However, Zegler's apology, combined with ongoing revelations of behind-the-scenes issues, contributed to a growing sense that the film was on shaky ground. Some have criticized Zegler's approach, with one observer remarking that she owes her career to Steven Spielberg, who discovered her, and that she seems ungrateful and annoying. This uncertainty, combined with the public rift between Zegler and Gal Gadot, only worsened the situation. Their presence together at promotional events risked leading to distracting questions about their working relationship, which the studio clearly wanted to avoid. Rumors circulated that the studio canceled the high-profile UK premiere, likely to dodge questions about their tensions and Zegler's apology. Sources close to the matter suggested that Godot was particularly uninterested in sharing interviews or red carpet appearances with Zegler. The movie might have performed better, some say, if Zegler hadn't caused such drama, potentially relying on strong trailers and audience interest to carry it. Regardless of whether the issues stemmed from creative differences or personal animosity, the result was the same. Major promotional efforts were dissolved due to their conflict. Even at a recent awards show, the two avoided meaningful interaction, further proving the ongoing rift. Any attempt by Zegler to apologize privately to Godot may have been overshadowed by the public apology about Snow White, making reconciliation even harder. Inside Disney, these developments set off alarm bells, with some employees fearing that the film had not only lost internal harmony, but also any goodwill from potential audiences. Executives who are focused on protecting the Disney brand are reportedly concerned that negative headlines about the drama on set could overshadow the film's core message of hope, friendship, and growth.
Rachel Zegler made it so hateable that you really sabotaged and took hundreds of millions of dollars from the studio. I don't know how anyone would ever want to go into business with her ever.
The question remains whether Rachel Zegler's apology for her previous comments about the 1937 Snow White will positively impact Disney's larger concerns. It may be seen as a strategic move for damage control rather than a true gesture of respect, or it could be a sincere attempt at reconciliation that came too late. Initially, Zegler was rumored to be contracted for multiple future Snow White appearances, with Disney planning a series of live-action expansions. However, the backlash and the ongoing issues with this project derailed those plans. Despite Zegler's efforts to apologize, Disney executives are hesitant to commit to further adaptations linked to this movie, particularly if the lead actress continues to generate controversy. If the film underperforms at the box office, it's likely that no future projects within this Snow White universe will come to fruition. The film could end up standing alone, overshadowed by its behind-the-scenes drama. Disney may downplay these tensions in its marketing, focusing on the visuals and the updated storyline while avoiding joint appearances between Zegler and Gal Gadot. This strategy is likely meant to avoid further scrutiny of their strained relationship and to steer attention away from the apology. However, if the movie fails to connect with audiences, the internal conflicts and controversies will be brought to the forefront, overshadowing the intended magic of the film. In contrast, if the film succeeds both critically and commercially, it may eventually be remembered more for its creative achievements than for the drama surrounding its creation. Either way, Zegler's apology remains a key part of the narrative, highlighting the challenges of stepping into an iconic role while navigating the demands of modern adaptation. The film's future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The behind-the-scenes turmoil has left a lasting mark on the production process and will likely impact how similar projects are handled in the future. Whether Snow White 2025 is remembered for its artistic merits or its controversies depends on how audiences react once the final product is released.